So my final year of my master's degree, we had to do an individual research project, and for me I was kind of interested in sustainability and sustainability within construction. So I started to look into topics surrounding that, and I came across a guy called Shigeru Ban, and he's a Japanese architect who'd been using cardboard tubes to create structures. And all these structures were sort of one-off pieces that they'd used in an exhibition, or he'd been using them as temporary structures in sort of disaster relief situations. So I wanted to try and find out how I could use cardboard in a more permanent situation and maybe use it in a traditional construction sense with a more widespread impact.
So we'd already done some acoustic testing at the University of Salford, looking at it as ventilation ducts. So we're trying to use a green, sustainable material, but in a new and innovative way. One of our colleagues suggested that we might want to speak to a company called Gator Ducts, which is a product which has been created by Salford alumni and Carl. And we spoke to Carl about using it as a structural engineering material.
I went over to Gator Duct and had a chat with Carl and Luke over there and sort of discussed what I was thinking and my ideas of how you could use this cardboard in alternative ways. And through that, they then donated some materials and they taught me through their manufacturing processes and a way that I could use that material in an alternative way.
So at the minute, if you were to build a traditional sort of timber floor, all of that timber has to come in the back of a truck. It still might come from sustainably managed forests and those sorts of things, but you still got to get it to site. There's all sorts of manual handling risks for the carpenters. And what we were looking at principles of origami, by having the cardboard delivered in a van, so it minimises the delivery and the embedded carbon from that aspect, but also it's very light, so it's much lighter to pick up.
There's potential for a circular economy with it. Say you had a site where you were getting deliveries coming in and they were arriving in cardboard. There's potential that you could then send that off to be recycled, and then it arrives back as a joist that you then put in the house.
So Gemma's work was about looking at the feasibility of an origami cardboard floor. We've proven that it's feasible, and since then we've gone on and done some more work looking at long-term load-ins and the cyclical nature of those load-ins. This year we're starting to look at it and create an origami disaster relief shelter, so we can create flat pack emergency relief shelters that, making the use of Gator Duct, being waterproof, antimicrobial, antifungal, we can hopefully create something that will create a really exciting impact and maybe contribute to some of the disaster relief around the world.
I really enjoyed sort of getting hands-on and being in the labs and testing things till it breaks and seeing how it fails. But also, it's given me the opportunity to work with other students, and there's students that are now coming through the university and doing their dissertations, following on with my research. That's been really interesting and rewarding for me to be able to do that and get involved with the next students coming through.